Previously on Danganronpa.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
The chicken! Huh? The blood was camouflaged? Yes!
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
All right. Let's find out where this killer got the blood, although I'm pretty sure it came from a chicken. They got the blood right there in the garden, right? Which must mean... Which must mean... Chicken coop chickens?
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
Chicken blood?
Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
There were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
That's pretty messed
Killing a
up.
living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You
What?
said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if
Right.
that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
Enough
But
to just
that's
use a
not
little
what we
bit.
saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered
Seems
it
elaborate.
beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait. No.
Oh!
The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
It's actually funny because I thought it looked strange when I first saw it. I didn't say anything. I was like, oh wait, that doesn't look... Because there's like, you have the picture of the killer before. Like, he's holding the knife. He or she's holding the knife. And the coat was like right side, you know, how you would normally wear a coat. But yeah, this looks backwards. It actually looks more like a, not a coat, but more like a full jumpsuit, but kind of wavy. I don't know.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
What
Here's
settles
what
what? Her
happened.
eyes look scary.
The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred.
Is it possible we're working with a previously killed student? Like, to go through all this just to cover up the time in which someone was murdered means the murder had to have taken place well before.
They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
I mean, maybe.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
There's also the time in which I forget, Hiro said that he checked, like, the night before had the chickens. So, if the jacket was already done in, I don't know, it seems like a lot would have to happen.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Well, what?
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
So, are we sticking with this thing that, like, it did take Makoto an hour and change to get from the cafeteria to the gym? Because that's kind of silly.
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
So from the time that he left the cafeteria, we already had... I feel like a decent alibi is that he was sleeping from 7:30, or from 10 p.m. to 7:30, or 7 o'clock. But they're saying that it's possible that he killed somebody during that time, dumped the body before 7:30, before he met with Hina, covered it with a tarp, and then after that, at some point, killed a chicken. But I'm pretty sure that the hero said that he had seen the chickens prior to, in the that night. But killed the chicken, soaked its blood with a coat, and then came back after he met with Hina to drop that coat on the body, and then made his way down to the gym. So all of that happened before he got to the gym? That's what we're going with?
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's
I don't know.
alibi is inadequate.
Because if that was the case, he would have some sort of, like... No, like, if it took him that long to get to the gym, he would have to, like, we would be talking about, like, what he was doing in the meantime. He went back to his room, he got changed, he did something. I don't know, but, like, that would be very, very suspicious. That's why, like, the time in this game, like, sometimes it doesn't necessarily make sense to me, personally. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Why is she trying to entrap him? The only way, so the other thing too is the only thing I can think of is she's doing this specifically is because we're going to find out she knows that this body is not real. It's either it's not real or it's somebody that's already been dead. And she's trying to like do this to like put on a charade or flush out the truth. This guy's dead body has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
50-50 odds.
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
What?
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
Ah, shit. Yeah, that's right. That's gonna come back to Makoto. Damn
The
it.
one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Dude, she set us up from the start. Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
I mean, you were all there, so you should have remembered.
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Also, I don't know if we've covered this, but that knife looks military issued. Just throwing that out there. So the ultimate soldier would have a knife like that. Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Oh boy. What do we have for arguments? Disguised dead body, body before the explosion, exploded body analysis, fragments near when the body was found.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
So
there's no question.
Not really.
You took
We also
that
have the
knife of
things
yours
about
and killed her with it.
What a
them getting hit in the
horrible
head.
man you are, Makoto.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto. It's not nice. I used that knife to kill Mukuru? No, there's no way.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid
Body
of
before the
that.
explosion?
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Right? Body before explosion? Because that should show that, like, the things that,
getting
like,
stabbed is what killed her.
that it was hit in the head? No? Yes, I see what you're saying is I have absolutely no idea.
Shoot!
I need to think about it once more. Oh, ooh, we're getting close to the end of there. There must be a contradiction somewhere.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Gave to Makoto. We
It
haven't
really
anything
is,
really.
isn't it?
There's nothing talking about the
I
knife,
was
so.
afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once?
I mean, we could disguise dead body, right? Because I actually forgot I could do this. Like, go and take a look at these during. Where's disguised dead body? Let's see what that said. The murder took place before the sprinklers turn on. The suspect covered with the tarp to prevent it from getting wet. Later, they've removed the tarp. The suspect planted. So if the knife strike or knife stab wound killed the disguised body, why the need for chicken blood then? So like that would maybe prove that the knife didn't
That
kill. So maybe we can
makes
go
me
with
the
disguised dead
killer?
body.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah. I need to do this more often. Like stop and
Wait,
think about
hold
it.
on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro.
Right? Because like, why would you have the needle for all the pomp and circumstance?
That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
That it would make sense for them to give me a talking point to use after we just did that for the
Lies.
The argument?
We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp and then put the bloody coat on it, right?
right. I still think this is like ridiculous to blame Makoto for. Obviously, it's not Makoto, but just like the idea that like after he left the cafeteria, like so, in the evening while everybody was working on oh my god, Monokuma, he killed this person, dumped their body in the garden, killed a chicken at some point, covered a jacket with blood at some point, covered the body with a tarp, then went back to, to his room or whatever. At 7 o'clock, got up, went to the cafeteria, met with Hina. And then at that point, it then took him a considerable amount of time to get back to the gym without any type of alibi. Like, nobody asked him. Like, that was the thing. Like, we didn't have like an interaction. Like, oh, like, hey, like, Hina doesn't go like, hey, we just left the cafeteria. Like, what took you so long? They're like, there wasn't any of that. So I just, like, don't think this is, like, that's a plausible argument. Anyway.
In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Right. Right. Sorry, I've been going on a tear the last couple of episodes with the way time works in this game.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body.
Yeah?
Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Correct!
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
He's really... Ooh. The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. I want to go with Monokuma File 5, right? Because that's the body's account? What is it? What is Monokuma's account? Yeah, the killing game begin with now. Titanium arrows. Dojo's locker. This guy's the... Let's take a look at the... I'm pretty sure this says how it was killed. Victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife. Okay, yeah. This is what we're going with.
The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
And the knife
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer.
Which still could be you, dude,
Probably
but
stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her.
you're not actually proving the fact that you didn't have the knife. Because it was still given to you.
Exploding
Boom.
the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but
Beginning of, like, the game?
what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
It's just getting worse and worse.
Dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Assuming this is the bomb, the fragments thing, if that's a talking point. There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion. Fragments near the body? We don't have the bomb is not actually a thing, so I just wanna...
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute.
More and more
They wanted
is
the
it?
knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that
Is Kyoko.
is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
She's gonna have something else.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate.
It's still possible Kyoko. So we found the arrow. Like she gave us everything. That's the thing. She's given us everything for this case.
It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We still have like the note that she left under, under the sheets type thing, or under the mattress, whatever it was. The lockers with the arrows in it. We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. We need to concentrate. Well, that's not gonna be easy for me. It's not gonna be easy for me. Body before this Monokuma, but the body exploded body analysis. Maybe number
Then
5.
shall
Found
we
number
continue
5.
the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I can only think of one thing that could have killed her.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Oh man.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I only think of one thing that could have killed her.
Then shall we continue the debate?
Hit on the back of the head?
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined,
Oh.
correct?
There we go. Woo! First try. Yes.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
I don't think so. I mean, it could be I don't know what the wounds are. It could be scratches. I don't know. Whatever. It's like that. Necessarily couldn't have killed, but like a blow to the head definitely.
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Which makes me think like this is a body that's been killed before and like went through Monokuma's like punishment, right? So like has like a bunch of stuff like all over. And also like maybe it's Sayaka's body, but no, I don't think Sayaka's body had just the one stab, right?
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old,
yeah, good
I guess
point.
they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
It couldn't have been Celeste because Celeste was like burnt to the crisp already.
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe.
Maybe.
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held
It's
it the
definitely
other
the
way and
arrows.
hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power.
How does Toko know so much about swinging a pickaxe?
I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
Oh my god. Can we lock her up?
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
The arrows.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
Right?
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon. It's gotta be. It's the sprinklers. The sprinklers killed her. It's actually the chicken. The chicken went on a murderous rampage. Used the knife to cut a wound on it, and then put its own blood on the. It's the chicken, guys. The chicken's the murderer. Pulled the tarp over. Oh my god. It's at the scene of the crime, and then it's on the lamb right now. We can't find it. It's the fucking chicken, you guys. Titanium arrows. That's what I'm going with. But for secret, it's the chicken.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
But we also placed Kyoko at the dojo. She was there. We went to go visit when we found like found the 5th floor or whatever. She was there.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
It does sound kind of weird. You're right.
Hey!
Nina.
How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
Why they would use an arrow to hit somebody in the back of the head.
I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. What's the secret? Bloody duct tape. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. There's a lot here, actually. Oh, no. This is going to be a hard one.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
There's no doubt that the arrow is the murder weapon, but there's more to it than that.
The titanium.
I had to look at Kyoko's account again. I'm gonna go with the titanium arrows. There's more of them.
Titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma
Because they grouped
file,
together, it'd be
it
at the size
said
of a metal
the weapon
pipe.
must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Aw, man. Don't scare me like that. It makes me think
Shoot!
there must be a contradiction there somewhere.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
Oh, no.
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Oh, man. What was Monokuma's account then? Woodblock key? It was a 16th student. Monokuma reveals the reason why she goes to hide something she didn't want anyone to see. Bloody duct tape. Oh! They probably taped them all together. Okay.
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thick.
No,
Yes!
wrong.
Now we're using our noodle.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Duct tape.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe.
I mean, you could also just hold them together and smack, and then they like incrementally just smack the person on the head. Like
And
that.
that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
It was.
I've never been to the dojo.
She's a liar.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
She's a
How can you
liar.
say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you?
Don't
If you
you?
cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll do that next episode. I guess. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon. Stop by Premiere Monday, Wednesday, or Friday at 2 p.m. EDT right here for more Danganronpa content. Until next time, go forth the rest of your day, make it a good one, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.